Hello everybody, Rose Thorn here. Tonight I am playing a game called Viscera Cleanup Detail. And while I'm playing the game, I wanted to give some tips and advice to those of you who might be thinking of purchasing the game and playing the game. Perhaps you're someone who like to play games and get some achievements and play them in record time. I'd like to share my tips and advice with you on how to play Viscera Cleanup Detail, and that way you get it done in a good amount of time and not be playing the game all night and making messes and having to go back and clean them. So, one of the rooms that we're in tonight is called Mad Science. When you buy Viscera Cleanup Detail, you get the choice of several rooms that you can go into. This one is called Mad Science. So, when you get into the game, this is where you start. You start in this little corner right here. And as you can see, there's mess everywhere, including bullet holes. There's alien blood, human blood. So what to do first? Well, I'm going to show you exactly what I do to get through this game fairly quickly. I don't break any time records, but this is what I do whenever I play Viscera Cleanup Detail. So, when you play any of the Viscera Cleanup Detail games, the first thing you should do is locate three things. The first thing you need to locate is, let me just hop over here. No, making a mess. Oh no. Alright. The first thing you should locate is your mop bucket dispenser. The second thing you should look for is your waste bucket dispenser. And the next thing you want to locate is your incinerator. Now, in all of the Viscera cleanup rooms, the locations of all three are in different places, and sometimes the incinerator is not an incinerator, it's something else, like in Zero Gravity, you actually send the garbage into space, and in the House of Horrors, the incinerator is actually a grinder that's out in the backyard. But for the Mad Science room, the incinerator is actually in this room. There it is. That's where you put all the stuff. Now, once you locate your incinerator and your mop bucket dispenser and your toxic bucket dispenser, what's next? Well, that's pretty obvious. The next thing you should be doing is to mop up all the blood, because in Viscera Cleanup Detail, the blood is what makes the most mess, and if you don't get it up off the floor, out of your way, it's just going to cause much more mess than you want to clean up. Blood is the one thing that will take a room that you normally spend an hour, hour and a half, and turn it into a 4-hour job. So you want to get that blood up off the floor and out of your way as quickly as possible. One thing that I like to do is, when I find out where the incinerator is, to clear a path from one area to the incinerator, so my walking path to the incinerator is clean, there's no blood in the way. Because if I don't do that, then I'm going to be walking in blood and tracking blood everywhere, and it's going to be a mess, and all I'm going to be doing is spending a game is just mopping the blood up. So, we're getting all the blood out of the way, clearing some of this out of the way. As you saw, there was blood all around the incinerator area. We need to go get that up. Don't worry about the dead bodies. Don't be concerned about them. You just want the blood up off the floor. Now, one little pro tip that I can give you about Viscera Detail in your mop is, many times there would be little body parts all over the floor. You don't want to hit them with your mop, because then they'll just give out more blood. So what you want to do is get your mop close to the body parts, because it'll still pick up the blood, but it won't hit those smaller body parts and make more of a mess. So you see like those little tiny parts right there? You don't want to hit them. because they'll make more of a mess for you, see? And if your mop gets full, then it'll do right what I just did. So, try to mop around the small body parts, but don't hit them so they don't make more of a mess. And when you get a bloody bucket of water, you can do double duty and put stuff in it, and that way it saves you on time for filling up the waste disposal buckets. Because one thing you got to keep in mind with Viscera, the mop disposal machine and the waste disposal bucket machine, sometimes when you push the buttons you'll have blood and body parts come out and they make a mess. So if you can kind of avoid that, that might be a good idea. So get one bucket, mop up all the blood you can, put some stuff in it if you can, lather, rinse, repeat, get a fresh bucket, and then just keep mopping. I'm mopping it past the incinerator so that I can throw stuff away without tracking blood everywhere. See? You gotta keep a watch on your mop so when it gets full of blood, you're not gonna make more of a mess. But don't worry about the bodies, just worry about the blood, because that's where all of the work is going to come from. That's the one thing that's going to make it a mess. Let's get some more of that up. Now, for mad science, this particular room that I'm in, hold on a second. This particular room that I'm in, it features a lot of big, bulky, dead bodies. And they do take a while to burn in the incinerator, so I have to develop a little system with dealing with them. But I'm trying to get all this stuff out of the way first. Let me just get rid of this bucket of mud. And we also want to get these body parts out of the way, so I'm not tripping all over them. Out you and you. Alright, so now we've got a bit of a path. There's another body right there. We'll just move that. Stay there. Alright, so see those bodies back there, right there? We're working our way to them. The idea is to get all the blood off the floor first before you start gathering up the garbage and the debris. You know, the blood always comes first. You know, take care of the blood. You'll get it everywhere. You'll be standing there all day mopping. See how I'm angling my mop away from the body parts? That's so they don't splatter everywhere and make me angry. Then I curse someone and my mom gets mad at me for using bad words. Alright, so the path is clear for me to get the bodies out of the way. These body parts out of the way as well. The idea is to create as less work as possible. So now the body parts are out of the way, then I can grab these bodies. Here's one. For those of you that have never played this game, large things like this, when you play the game, are a big pain in the butt. Here's how you deal with it. You pick it up. You click your left mouse button, it straightens it up, and that way you put it in the incinerator. That way you're not struggling all day. That body's going to take a while to burn, so guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go over here and do some more mopping while I'm waiting for the body to burn. And once I get a full bucket of blood, and put some stuff in it, and I can go back, throw it in the incinerator, put another body in, lather, rinse, repeat until they are all burned. There we go. Oh, making a mess, making a mess. Don't do that. One thing to remember with Viscera detail, cleanup detail, is it's not just the bodies and the body parts you have to get rid of. What trips some people up is not knowing that it goes beyond just the bodies, the body parts. You have to get everything connected to the bodies. You got to get the tools used for cutting and for puncturing the bodies, you know, like the little medical instruments, the trays, all of that. All that stuff has to be thrown away because that counts towards your final score and how the game either demotes you, fires you, or promotes you. Now, one thing I've learned about Viscera cleanup detail is when you are cleaning, be sure to look everywhere. Everywhere. Even if you think you've done a fantastic, perfect job, look everywhere. Look on the ceiling, look on the walls, look in the corners. If you walk into a room and you see boxes in a corner, move them because there might be tin cans or debris all the way around. Also, let me show you guys something. In several of the rooms, there's actually more than one level that you have to clean. You can clean one level and think that that's all you have to do. Nope. There's another level you totally neglected, you totally forgot about or didn't know about, and then you think you've done perfectly, and then the next thing you know, you clock out, and then the game is dinging you because you forgot all about it. Like, here's the second level for mad science. Here's a little thing. Here's the elevator. I'm gonna go up. See that? Can you imagine being downstairs and you think, oh, I've done everything, I've cleaned everything, I've thrown everything away, and then you walk up to this. So, yeah, always check for that. Always check to see if there's a second level that you have to clean and take care of before you clock out. Because if you don't, then you're going to get a bad score, and you're really not going to like that. So, we're going to go back down. Just checking my list of things I need to tell you guys. Okay, also, when you're doing Viscera cleanup detail in any of the rooms, don't forget about the bullet holes. There'll be bullet holes in the wall here and there. Don't forget to fix them. There's a little, looks like a space gun type thing. I don't even know where the one is at here, but I'm looking for it. But there is a blue or a yellow gun that's laying on the floor someplace that you use to fix the bullet holes, and that way they're all straight and clear. So when you're doing Viscera cleanup detail, you gotta worry about the blood, the body parts, any instruments or anything connected to the body parts, all debris like candy wrappers, beer cans, stuff like that, bullet holes, all of it, all of it. Go over everything with a fine-tooth comb, and when you think that you've done a pretty good job, one thing you should always use is this device. And you can find it by pressing the 3 button on your keyboard, and then you click your left mouse button, and it's a detector to show you where you have forgotten something. See how it's going off with the blood? If you get everything perfectly clean and you use this device and you're walking around and you hear a beep like that, it means there's something that you have forgotten. So I'm going to put it away. Make sure that all the rooms that you are supposed to clean have been cleaned. All bullet holes taken care of, all blood, all everything. And as long as you, here's the gun right here. There's the gun for the bullet holes. Let's see if I can use it. Yes, I'm walking through the blood, I know that, but I'm not really playing the game. I'm showing you guys tips and advice, so I don't care. But, okay. One thing that I need to tell you about this gun is you got to be very careful how long you use it for, because if you use it too long, it's just going to create more of a mess, and I'm going to demonstrate that. You got to use very short bursts with the gun, or else it's going to create a whole bunch of ash and burn marks, and you got to deal with that too. So let me show you how to do it right and how not to do it right. Okay, see, it disappeared. Now watch this. See that? You don't want to do that. That's just more mess, and it makes the hole bigger, then you have to fix it. So if you got the gun and you're at the part where you've fixed the bullet holes, which I always wait till the end of everything, I've cleaned everything, everything's put away. This is like the last step before I'm completely done. You want to use very short bursts. That was a little bit too much. See? If it's too little, it won't cause any damage. You'll just have to hit it again. But too much means you'll have to not only use the gun, but also grab a mop and get those marks off of there. That's kind of a pain in the butt. One thing that they will give you in the game is this thing right here, that if you're in a room with ledges or windows, or like, let me show you, like there's a room in here. Which one is it? Trying to find the room. Get exactly where it's at. I'll find it, don't worry. I know I'm making a mess. I know this. Okay. It's in here. Isn't it? No, it's the other room. Sorry. It was in the first room. See how I'm making a mess? This is what you should not do. Don't do as I do. Do as I say. Alright. So, like right here. This is why you should look up playing this game. Because see that area up there? See, I'm jumping. You gotta get up there and clean all the blood and stuff out of it, and the only way you get up there is with that device in the hallway that elevates you up. Where is it? This device right here. But in any of the Viscera detail cleanup rooms, you'll be using this quite a bit to get the blood and bullet holes off of the walls, out of the window ledges, everything. So, as I said, check everything twice, 3 times, 4 times, because the jokers that made Viscera cleanup detail, they hide things in all the corners, and just when you think it's perfect, it's not. You forgot something or didn't see something, and then you're going to get mad because instead of getting a perfect score, you got scored a lot lower below, and then you don't know what to do with yourself. So, so let's see if I forgot anything. Let's see. Oh, one thing I did forget to bring up, sorry. That's why I had a list over next to me. See all, this is what happens when you don't mop up the blood. See all this? Disgusting. Alright, in several of the rooms, they often have creatures or things that are oversized that you can't possibly put in the buckets, or if you put them in the buckets, that's the only thing you can put in there. What I always do is get all the oversized stuff like the torsos, or like legs or whatnot, and I just take it straight to the incinerator. I don't see a point in just putting one big thing in a waste disposal bucket. I would rather get that waste disposal bucket and put a whole bunch of small things on there and save a whole bunch of trips, than put one big thing in the bucket and then have to come back and get another bucket. So if you have a situation like this where you got all these oversized pieces and they would not fit in the waste disposal bucket, or if they would, you only get like 1 or 2 things in, screw it. Just carry them to the incinerator and save the waste disposal buckets for the really small things, and that we can get a lot more of them. So, making a mess over here. Oh, also, Don't forget about these. Don't forget about these things. Oh, the first aid kits. You'll get dinged if you don't put them in. Here's your little vending thing. You can, like, it'll depend. You can do the vending thing for extra light if you encounter a dark corner and can't see anything. These are the first aid kits. Well, that sucked. Let's try that again. Okay. Alright, let me know. I don't need that. Let me try that again. This thing's being a turd. Thank you. Alright, where did I see that? Okay, there it is. Okay. So, you have to grab one of these off the vending machine and there's a few of these in the building, but if you don't put the first aid kit in, you'll get dinged at the end of the game. The game will let you know that you suck because you didn't get everything. Remember what I said about looking up? Yeah, blood on the ceiling, blood everywhere, there's stuff everywhere. Always make sure, always check every corner, everything, because you'll find things in the damnedest places. The makers of Viscera, they're checking you to see if you're paying attention. Okay, so that is my tips and advice video for how to play Viscera Cleanup Detail Mad Science and to get a decent score and not get dinged by the game. I hope this helps you and explains a few things. So thanks for watching and have a good one.